you guys? This is Danny B. You're watching The Trash Stash, and in this video I'm going to be showing you some of these old 1930s crime movies that I've been watching. So that's all I'm watching these days, is just these old 1930s and 40s gangster movies and crime movies and stuff like that. I don't know, I just got really into it, and I've been enjoying them, so why not? So here's what I got so far. Panic in the Streets, and this is actually a gangster movie and a virus outbreak movie with Richard Widmark basically is like the health director, kind of like a Dr. Fauci type of guy. He's running around trying to stop the plague while this gangster is running around hiding from cops, but he's also spreading the plague. So they're trying to find him so that they can stop the plague from going around, but also he's a criminal, so he's hiding out and stuff. With Jack Palance as the gangster. Yeah, this was a pretty good one. Next up, we got The Big Street with Lucille Ball and Henry Fonda. And this one, Lucy plays like the biggest fucking bitch I've ever seen in a movie. This guy, Henry Fonda, is like a busboy at this club, and she's dating a gangster. And the gangster gets tired of her, and he pushes her down the stairs. She breaks her legs, and this guy, Henry Fonda, starts trying to take care of her. And the whole time she's treating him like shit, and I don't think she ever stops treating him like shit. And the whole, I don't know, it's an okay movie. Next up, we got The Picture Snatcher with James Cagney, and this is a pretty funny comedy where this gangster gives up his old gangster ways and becomes a paparazzi for a newspaper, and he's up to his like shisty tricks and stuff like that. He actually takes a picture of someone getting executed in death row, and he's running around with that picture. They're trying to catch him. It's pretty funny. Alright, next up we got Scarface, the 1930s original with Paul Muni. This one is actually, it's kind of surprised me how close it is to the remake. I still prefer the remake a little better, but this one was really good. This also has George Raft in it, and one of his earliest roles. And George Raft was another good gangster actor. Yeah, Scarface, the original. And next up, we got Lady Killer with James Cagney and Mae Clark. This one is pretty funny. This has almost like the same amount of brutality as The Public Enemy, but it's a comedy. It's just about like a shady kind of guy. He gets involved with some gangsters playing poker or something, but he's not a gangster. And then eventually he becomes a movie star. And there's a hilarious scene where he actually makes a movie critic eat a review. Like literally, like he goes, "Why do you write this stuff?" And then he goes, "Open your mouth," and he like shoves the review in the guy's mouth and makes him goes, "All right, now chew it up." Yeah, this one was really funny. All right, next up we got Out of the Fog with John Garfield and Ida Lupino. This one was really good. This is John Garfield as a gangster, and he's kind of like harassing the entire town, but he's also kind of like a slick talker. He's actually, I think out of all these old fast-talking gangsters, he actually talks the fastest I've seen in this movie specifically. There's an awesome scene where it goes like, "You were doing to me what I'm doing to you, you know what I do to you? I kill you." Alright, next up is Each Dawn I Die. And this is with James Cagney and George Raft. And George Raft, I was doing some research on George Raft. It turns out he was actually in the Mafia while he was doing all these gangster movies. Allegedly. He was friends with Bugsy Siegel. Pretty good prison escape type of movie. Next up we got Double Identity. And I actually haven't watched this one yet. My brother gave me this for Christmas. I hear it's really good. Gonna check it out. It's got Edward G. Robinson and Barbara Stanwyck and Fred McMurray. Alright, next up we got The Walking Dead with Boris Karloff. I picked up this Karloff and Lugosi 4-pack. It's got Frankenstein 1970, You'll Find Out, Zombies on Broadway, and The Walking Dead. And I picked it up for The Walking Dead, and this is a gangster vigilante horror movie. So I was like, I gotta check this out. I probably would love it, and I did love it. Yeah, so these mobsters kill off Karloff, or frame him for murder. He gets executed. And then the doctors bring him back to life, and now he's walking around like Frankenstein's monster, and he's pointing these gangsters out. He's going to get revenge on them and stuff. It's pretty hilarious. Yeah, that's The Walking Dead with Boris Karloff. And next up we got The Mayor of Hell with James Cagney. This was a really good one. There is some racist stuff in this movie, so if you're sensitive to like old racial stereotypes, don't watch it. But this is where these kids get sent to reform school. They're being treated like prisoners. Like the director of the school is like, I don't know, like beating them up and shit. Yeah, and then James Cagney is a mobster in this, and then somehow he overtakes the school. I don't know how he does it. Some shady shit where he's like, all right, you either put me in charge of this school or I'll take my voters and peddle them elsewhere. So, but he has a lot of good ideas. He wants to treat these kids with respect, and he's like, all right, if you guys are going to integrate into society, we're going to treat you like citizens. So you have to set up your own court system. You have to be a mayor. Like one kid gets elected mayor. That's why it's called Mayor of Hell. And yeah, it's a really good movie. All right, next up we got Kiss of Death with Richard Widmark, and Victor Mature is the lead. Richard Widmark in this movie is, I think, the most evil gangster I've seen in all of these old movies. He's seriously, he's like the Joker. He's laughing like the Joker. He pushes an old lady down a flight of stairs who's in a wheelchair. He like ties her to the wheelchair and pushes her down the stairs. Yeah, this is a good one. If you want to see like a ruthless gangster, check this one out. This is about a guy. He's a criminal, but he's got a good heart. And then he goes to prison and then blames some of his crimes on Richard Widmark, who had nothing to do with it. He blames that on this guy, so now he's out for revenge for that. And he was a hitman for a shady lawyer or something. All right, next up we got Angels with Dirty Faces. This is my favorite one out of all of these. This is with James Cagney and Pat O'Brien, and Humphrey Bogart and the Dead End Kids, and Ann Sheridan are in this too. Just every element of this movie is good. The entire cast is good. The story is great. So this is about two kids that rob a train. They steal some stuff off of a train, and one gets caught and one gets away. The one that gets away, he goes and becomes a priest. The other one, he goes to reform school, then prison, and he becomes a gangster, basically. So now he's back out on the streets, and he's trying to, like, get the money that was owed to him from Humphrey Bogart, and they're kind of, like, double-crossing him and shit. And at the same time, he's hanging out with his friend, the priest, Pat O'Brien. They're still friends, but they lived very different lives. And Pat O'Brien is taking care of these orphans. He's like trying to get them to not become shady characters. And James Cagney is a bad influence on them, even though he's trying to do the right thing. And then Ann Sheridan's like the love interest. It's a very good movie. Angels with Dirty Faces. Highly recommend this one. I also have it on VHS. It's way easier to find it used on VHS than it is on DVD. DVD's out of print. This one's still pretty easy and affordable, and it's pretty good quality because this is a reissue of the VHS from the year 2000. So it's pretty good quality. All right, next up we got Dead End, and this has the same kids from Angels with Dirty Faces. They actually got their name from this movie Dead End, the Dead End Kids. And I watched this one right after Angels with Dirty Faces, and I was like, what the fuck? This is the same kids. But yeah, I didn't realize that they were basically a comedy group. They were basically like the Gangster Little Rascals. Like they were picking pockets and stuff like that. And they do that in this movie. They run around, they're causing all kinds of havoc. And this is basically a story of people in the ghetto or lower Manhattan. You got Sylvia Sidney, who I always know her from Beetlejuice. She played the old lady from Beetlejuice. But she's a big movie star in the 1930s. And Humphrey Bogart is in this. And probably my favorite of Bogart's like early gangster role leads. He's usually a side character in these old 30s. He became a bigger star later on. But this is a very good one with him as like the lead character. And it's basically, I guess it's based on a play, so it's kind of like just a story of all these people's lives, and their lives are all going nowhere. It's a dead end for them. Yeah, highly recommend that one. All right, next up we got this Forbidden Hollywood 3-pack. I picked it up for this one, Babyface. It's also got Redheaded Woman and Waterloo Bridge. Babyface as Barbara Stanwyck, and she's kind of like, she figures out that she's really good looking, so she uses her good looks to like manipulate people, manipulate guys basically. And she's like, she has this like father figure character. It's not her father, but he's like, all life is exploitation. You must use men to get the things you want. So yeah, she kind of like just seduces people and then double crosses them. It's a very good like kind of gold digger movie. Yeah, it's Babyface from 1933. It's also got Redhead Woman with Jean Harlow. That one was okay. I actually didn't finish it. I watched half of it, and I watched it real late, so I fell asleep. But I wasn't so into it. Waterloo Bridge, kind of cheesy, but it was okay. It's about like this girl, Mae Clark from The Public Enemy. She becomes a prostitute. If you don't get what this is, 1934 was the year that the censor code went into motion or whatever. Before 1934, you had all these like risky movies, basically just like movies like today. Maybe a little toned down, but it was way more like sex and violence in them and stuff like that. So yeah. Alright, next up we got The Street with No Name. And this is another one with Richard Widmark as a gangster in it. So this is an undercover cop movie about like an FBI agent I think he's an FBI agent. He goes undercover as a gangster, and he's kind of like taking these guys down, but Richard Widmark is actually pretty smart. He kind of double crosses the cop. This is a very good one. Next up we got this awesome 4-pack. This is actually, I would say if you haven't seen any gangster movies and you want to check them out for the first time, pick up this 4-pack if you can find it. It's got Little Caesar, The Public Enemy, Smart Money, and The Roaring 20's. So Little Caesar, I wasn't so crazy about that. That was still kind of like, I think they're trying to figure out how to actually make a movie with sound in it. So there's got lots of scenes where like they have to stand in a certain position to be able to like record their voice onto sound. But yeah, it's a decent one. I actually preferred Smart Money with Edward G. Robinson. That was a little better than Little Caesar to me. Like in this one, he's more of a ruthless kind of character. In this one, he plays a barber who's just kind of like outsmarting people at gambling and stuff like that. And he's pretty nice to anyone that doesn't double cross him. Once people double cross him, that's when he goes out for revenge. And he gets just like petty revenge on people, and then he like talks shit to them. I don't think he kills anyone. He just like kind of like takes their money and then talks shit to them. It's a funny movie. This one, though, again, it does have some stupid racist shit. I don't know why they threw that shit in there. It doesn't add anything to the movie, but if you can overlook that, it's a good movie. The Public Enemy, that one is classic. That one is really good. I actually prefer The Public Enemy over like all three Godfather movies. Yeah, seriously, one of the best gangster movies of all time. Check it out if you haven't seen it. And then The Roaring 20's, probably my favorite movie on this whole 4-pack. I actually do like this one and Angels with Dirty Faces just a little bit better than Public Enemy. And this was made in the 30s and it's set in the 20s, so they kind of had like a better big picture story to tell. So yeah, The Roaring 20s, definitely check out this 4-pack if you can get it. And next up we got Brother Orchard. This is a comedy with Edward G. Robinson. And Humphrey Bogart's in this one, too, as a bad guy. Bogart always played, like, the bad guy in these gangster movies. And it's also got Alan Jenkins. And Alan Jenkins is an actor who pops up in a lot of these as kind of like the comedic sidekick to a lot of these gangsters. He's very funny. But yeah, this one is a comedy about a gangster that gives up his gangster job and then becomes a monk. Then I also got... Then some of these movies are pretty hard to find, and I found a couple on YouTube, and I just actually, like, I don't know, just kind of bootlegged them. I got Blondie Johnson with Joan Blondell. She was a pretty good-looking lady at the time, and they put her in a gangster movie of her own. And Blondie Johnson, this is a good one. This is Edward G. Robinson, 3-movie pack I put on there. Scarlet Street. It's a very good, like, film noir movie, and the whole town's talking. That one's awesome. Edward G. Robinson plays 2 roles in that. He plays this guy, just like an ordinary, nerdy kind of guy. And then a gangster. The gangster ends up in the newspaper, and everyone thinks that the nerdy guy is him because they look exactly the same. It's a pretty good movie. And then Vice Squad, I haven't watched that one yet, but I just copied it off of YouTube and put it on there. And then a Humphrey Bogart double feature, King of the Underworld. This is a good one where I don't know, he plays this like kind of stupid gangster who wants to be Napoleon. Like he's always like talking about Napoleon and stuff. And then he kind of he kind of has like these 2 doctors working for him, or they're, you know, doing him favors because they have to, and they kind of double cross him because they're sick of his bullshit. This one's only an hour long, but it's definitely worth checking out on YouTube. Humphrey Bogart, King of the Underworld. The other one is Racket Busters. I only watched a couple of minutes of that because I fell asleep, but it seemed like it was pretty good. And I was looking for a copy of that. I can't find it anywhere. I don't think an actual physical copy exists of that. It has an awesome opening scene where Humphrey Bogart's looking over the city on his balcony, and he kind of says, like, I'm gonna get everything from these suckers. Last up, I got this 50-pack Crime Wave collection from Mills Creek, and I'm just gonna read a couple from here, and then I'll show the back, and you can pause it and read it if you want. This has got some good ones on here, though. It's got He Walked by Night, which I was watching. It was a very good one. Scarlet Street with Edward G. Robinson. Dick Tracy Meets Gruesome with Boris Karloff. That one was kind of fun. It's got this like creepy, like greasy guy looking through the window. I don't know. Dick Tracy always had those crazy bad guys in it. Let's see what else is on there. Whistle Stop with George Raft. I haven't watched that one yet. It's got this movie called Detour. People have been telling me that one's really good. But yeah, I'm just going to show you what's on the back. You can pause it if you want. See what's on here. Or just, if you can't read that, just go on like Amazon, look this up. Crime Wave 50-pack. It'll show what's on there. What the fuck is going on? Hey guys, this is Denny B. You're watching The Trash Stash. Hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.